psychological warfare. No, I'm not talking about a brand new Call of Duty game or a hit show on Netflix that you need to watch. I'm talking about the struggles that every single investor on the stock market has to face on a daily basis. Whether we like it or not, our brains are programmed to give us a hard time when it comes to investing. Whether you're experiencing FOMO on a hot stock that has rocketed, or your brain is misleading you due to subconscious cognitive biases, you are not alone. No matter how savvy of an investor you are, it's easy to slip into these pitfalls without even knowing. But what the hell am I talking about? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about some of the key psychological concepts that directly impact your investing and cause you to make irrational decisions. And, more importantly, we're going to talk about how you can change your mindset so that you can stop making these common investing mistakes. Hello everybody, my name is Lewis and welcome back to iQinvesting, where we talk about saving, investing and everything in between. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow us on Instagram at iQinvesting UK for more stock market related content just like this every week. So, investing psychology. It is arguably one of the most important aspects of investing, but it is so rarely talked about. You could have the perfect portfolio, but if you have the wrong mindset and make decisions based on emotion, you could end up losing it all. To help you avoid this, we're going to talk about some of the key psychological biases that we all face. And for each one, we're going to discuss how you can become conscious of them and how you can stop them from taking over your investment decisions. Let's get right into it. The first common bias that we all feel is down to the bandwagon effect, or FOMO, fear of missing out. As humans, we naturally feel much more comfortable making a decision when there are another group of humans who are also making that decision. In fact, if that group of people start to benefit from that decision, we start to feel left out, or like we weren't invited to the party. But what do we feel like we're missing out on? Well, we see others making successful decisions and we want that for ourselves, to help us achieve our financial goals. However, we think that it can be helpful to think about the cognitive process behind reaching that next personal milestone. We continually assess our behaviours to determine if they are in line with achieving our goals. If they are not in line, then we adjust them accordingly. Whether it's turning the TV off when you know you have to study hard for an upcoming exam, or whether it's knowing that you have to cut back on your expenses so that you can put more money into your portfolio, we all make adjustments when necessary. However, FOMO can start to throw this process out the window. We instead get distracted by the success of others. Instead of focusing on important personal long-term goals, we began to value external goals that are usually less important, and the evaluation of your current situation becomes less accurate. We overestimate how good the other experience is, and we devalue our current situation. It is important to remember that other people's success does not detract from your own success. It can be easy to feel underwhelmed when you see your 8% average return for the year compared to Tesla's 800% return for the year. However, people have a tendency to advertise their success or achievements and minimize their failures, at least in a social context. So for every stock that you may have missed out on that big win, you may have also avoided a crucial loss. I'm not saying that we can't listen to other investors, but when it comes to making that final investment decision, you need to do your own research and feel comfortable with the decision that you're making. The truth is that you, and only you, are responsible for your decisions. Number 2 is confirmation bias. This tends to be motivated by wishful thinking. We have a tendency to stop gathering information if we have enough evidence to support the hypothesis that we already made. This makes it easy to miss important information for decision making. Confirmation bias can be seen as a protective mechanism that applies to almost all situations throughout day-to-day life. It's uncomfortable and sometimes difficult to seek out information that contradicts what we already believe to be true. To put an example to this, let's say that you think stock X is going to be a winner and it will double by the end of the month. But before you want to make that final investment decision, you decide to do some research. Within this research, you find a lot of information that says that this stock is extremely risky and that it probably won't meet the targets that you expected. But then, you come across an article that supports your bullish thoughts. It may not even be filled with credible information, but it supports what you already think. Our brain has a funny way of putting more value on that information than the whole bunch of research that you did before. This ultimately can cause you to make a bad investment decision. Also, it's worth bearing in mind that our own social media profile can make this problem even worse. Social media algorithms will pick up on themes that you're interested in, and it will push more of that information in front of you. So, in your daily newsfeed, you're going to find more information that probably supports the claims that you already believe. So, how can we stop this from happening? It all comes down to being objective with our research. We need to carefully evaluate the information that is put in front of us and take it at face value. Try not to let any thoughts or previous conceptions influence our analysis. Number 3 is the hindsight bias, which can be crippling for investors' mindsets. Simply put, this is the tendency to view events as more predictable than they actually are. We selectively recall information that confirms what we believe to be true. This is similar to the confirmation bias that we previously discussed. This then creates a narrative that the outcome was easy to predict all along, but this is often not the case when we're in the thick of it. When we look back at stock returns, or key events that drive these stock returns, it's easy to think that these events were easy to predict. But of course, these past results are only so obvious because we, in the future, have a perfect picture of how the event played out. So why is this an issue? Ultimately, hindsight bias matters because it stops us from learning from our investing experiences. If you think that you knew it all along, you won't take a moment to stop and think about why the outcome actually played out. We can easily miss out on some crucial lessons. If you knew that Apple stock way back in 2005 was going to rocket all along, you might be too adventurous in financially committing to a similar opportunity when it arises, without thoroughly examining the facts. We need to avoid applying knowledge that we have gained retrospectively when making an analysis on a company or industry in the present. Looking back from the future gives us a clear perspective of how things play out. But remember that it is the decisions that we make in the present that make investing so difficult. Finally, number 4 is information bias. There is almost an infinite amount of information out there. Whether it is a new stock analysis or a future prediction of a certain sector, how do you know which of these sources is credible? In our digital age, we are constantly bombarded with information and we need to decide how to process it. Unfortunately, many investors put a lot of weight on the wrong information and can make poor investment decisions because of it. To avoid this common pitfall, we need to think carefully about the source of information that we find. Is the analysis backed up with data? What is the source of this data? How qualified is the person that is giving you this information? There are tons of examples of this on YouTube alone. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of good channels out there with a lot of good information, but in most cases, the information that some of these channels are giving to you is solely based on speculation and opinion. We should all learn to analyse each source of information and determine its reliability. We will then be able to silence the noise and make decisions based on the best quality information. It is important to bear in mind that these cognitive biases aren't just character flaws that exist in only some of us. Cognitive errors happen to all of us. The key is to recognise when our assumptions or biases cause us to make reckless or costly decisions. By increasing our awareness, we can hope to make better investment decisions by cutting out the emotional middleman. A great way to do this is by investing in a globally diversified portfolio of index funds. This is because it takes the emotion out of picking a particular stock or a fund manager. Also, the academic literature supports the fact that you will consistently achieve the market returns by just holding the whole market. But, as you may notice, here at iQinvesting, we might just be a little biased. And with that, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow us on Instagram at iQinvesting UK for more stock market related content just like this every week. If you found the video helpful, please smash the like button and share it with a friend so that they can learn about the psychology of investing too. Do you have any more top tips for avoiding common investing mistakes? Please let us know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching.